Hello walkers, and welcome to Clyde Park, Montana. Hold on, I'll give you a little view of me. My name is Henry. I will be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide through the tiny little town of Clyde Park, Montana. I'll flip you around again here. Clyde Park is about 15-20 miles north of Livingston, Montana. We come through here all the time. It's a great little town. My dad comes up here too to the Clyde Park Tavern and has breakfast a lot, sort of a bar and cafe. Town of about 300 souls, mainly a ranching community. I'm not going to talk a lot because there's not a whole lot to say about it. It's a small town in Montana, and I thought, actually Traveling Mel thought this would be a good one to walk. It's really small, so I don't know how long we're gonna last, but we'll see most of the town, hopefully. I'm gonna start out going down the main drag here. I pointed out the tavern. There's going to be a community center straight ahead, that kind of pole barn looking place, and a post office and a grocery store and a couple other things that I will point out as we go. We are about a block off of 89, Highway 89. It is about, what is it? It's about 11:30 today, 79 degrees Fahrenheit, I guess, 26 degrees Celsius, if I remember correctly. And it is about mid-August, and it's very pleasant with this breeze. Hopefully that won't play too much havoc with the audio. Over to our right is is Sunnyside Pizza and a little free library. I love these little libraries that people have been putting up the last decade or so. They put books out and you can take one and leave one, and it's just a neat little community thing. That is Sunnyside Pizza, which I'll get to in just a minute why that would be called Sunnyside, which I didn't know until I just looked it up. Which is one of the great things that I like about this channel is I always learn something. Here is a landmark Western land real estate company, Tammy Barron's, if you're looking to move to Clyde Park. Now, I'm gonna get a better view of this because I love the sign. Glenn's Shopping Center is kind of the local grocery store. And they've got all sort of the basics there. And then I love this. Hi there.
Hey, how are you today?
Good, thanks. I love the storefronts here, the old Western motif and these old buildings. I didn't even know the coffee and bakery was here. That's pretty cool. 2 doors down. I love that name. And I'm not sure what these are. We'll find out. Looks like the volunteer fire station up ahead. This says Shields Valley Hardware. So it's a little hardware store. You can see this is a wide main street. So I will tell you about Clyde Park and the history a bit. Founded kind of in the 1870s by Texas cattlemen. I love this. The city jail of Clyde Park. We saw this, something similar in Zortman. I would not want to be kept in there, especially on a hot summer day or a cold winter day. It's a volunteer fire department. Anyway, 1870s, Texas cattlemen brought herds up here and settled in this area, a little town called Sunnyside. And it was a great place for them to graze their stock, their cattle, and they would later, we were on Mile Street, and they would later drive those back down, and this is First Street. They would drive those back down to rails heads to be shipped back east, and I assume out west, probably 1870. I don't remember when the railroad went through. Off to our left is the bank of the Rockies. Anyway, there were a couple ranches, and they established a post office at one of the ranches called the Clyde Park Post Office, and there's a little bit of uncertainty whether it was named after a Clydesdale horse that one of the ranchers had, or Clyde Durant, I think, might have been the name. Any case, and then in, I think it was early 1900s, between 1900 and 1910, the town and the post office merged to become Clyde Park, as it was incorporated as Clyde Park. Today, they do have an annual Settlers Days, I think is what it's called. It's a little festival they have, some parade and some other stuff goes on. And it's primarily a ranching community. So I told, this is Park Avenue. I mentioned that it was about 15, 20 miles north of Livingston. Actually, you go east of Livingston for about 5 miles and then head north across the Yellowstone. You'll pass Sheep Mountain on your right, and we're about to get some view of the Crazy Mountains to the north. Crazy Mountains are sacred to the Absalaga or Crow people, and they've been doing a lot of interesting stuff to get more access for people. It's a patchwork of private and public land up there, and they've had on the north, to the north of here, the American Fork fire, of wildfire that's been burning. I think they're sort of getting a handle on it now. We've had some rain and some cooler temperatures, although it's supposed to be 90 today and very windy, so hopefully that's not causing too many problems. And as we come up on East Avenue in Lower Cottonwood, you will see the Clyde Park School. Or Shields Valley School, I'm sorry. The Shields River flows through here. We will get over to that eventually. And you can see a combine working up there. Let's go up there, see the combine. A lot of cattle here, some crops, some dry land crops, a nice little creek flowing through here. It's always relaxing. And that's kind of the story here. I'll point out a few things as we go, but otherwise it's gonna be a little quiet. I'll try to be. Normally I don't film around schools, but they are not in session, so there's not a lot of kids around. If there were, I would avoid that. I don't want to film minors without their parents' permission, and honestly, at all, because it's not really what this channel's about. See that big combine up there? Well, he's gonna, or she, is gonna drive in the opposite direction. So we're gonna turn around and go back on this other street and duck through the neighborhood, I think. I've mentioned how many people are moving into Montana. And even Clyde Park, I'm seeing 2 or 3 buildings now that are being built. Even Clyde Park is having a bit of a housing crisis, housing challenges in terms of affordable housing for people. To the north in the Crazies, there has been just recently, there's a dude ranch up there that was owned by the Marlboro Tobacco Company, and they would run contests and bring people out all summer to reward their smoking habit, I guess. Anyway, that has sold to a group, some of the owners of the Yellowstone Club. So there's some concern about what they're going to do with that property and what kind of access there will be going forward. We're going to go down East Avenue here, I guess. It's kind of a neat, somebody has an old wagon in their yard, carriage. Off to the left here, they're digging out a lot. Maybe going to build something or rebuild something. I love these little neighborhoods. And I love these old trees too, and some of the old houses. The town burned down, I guess, or a good portion of it burned down in I think it was 19. Something nice about a shady, grassy area like that. It's a big yard. There's some barns back in there that look pretty neat, but I don't think I can go in there as it is private property. Now we're headed back east on 2nd Street. And my plan is to cross over 89 and walk down towards the Shields River, because there's a bridge there. And that road will take you out to Brackett Creek. It's a pretty drive. Yeah, so. If you look over at towards the playground, in the distance you can see another mountain range, and that is the Bridger Mountains with what's it called? Bangtails are much smaller in the foreground, and the Bridgers are in the background. And the Bangtails is well known for, at least regionally, for mountain biking trails. And of course, Bridger is known for Bridger Bowl and the Bridger Ridge Run. It's kind of a neat house here. You see that little antenna up there to the right, and that is wireless internet. They don't have a lot of, well, fiber, obviously, but they do have high bandwidth internet that they deliver wirelessly. Typically, I think the company locally is Wisp West that does that, provides that. My battery on my audio recorder just ran out, but luckily I was next to the car, so I've replaced it. And we're continuing our walk. This big semi up here, you can see, or a tractor trailer, or what the Brits might call a lorry, I think, is geared up for hauling hay. You can see kind of a tray. They put their big round bales in there, stack them up, and then haul them off to wherever they need to haul them to. Johnstone Ranch up in Wilsall. It's the next little town north of here. Now, this area is agricultural, it's ranching, and I don't think it's inaccurate to call it conservative politically. And up here on the left, you'll see a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, which is usually synonymous with gun rights, and a pro-Trump flag. And it was the Republican Party headquarters for a while. If you're looking for coffee, there's a little coffee shack here, Joyous Java. We'll drive up, and a little service shop to the left, which I think their pumps are open when they're not, they're automatic. So if the company's not open, I think you can still buy gas. I'm not sure about that. Down here you have antlers for sale and 1800s antique shop and another volunteer fire department building. But we are going to make our way south. And hopefully, I got a missed call there. Find out which of these streets I'm supposed to make a right on to go down to the river. An old garage there. Well, we're going to cross because why not? Yeah, so they have modern electronic pumps. You can see the price there, $322 and $357, which is a little more I've lost my audio again. I guess the batteries I put in there weren't very good. I'm going to try something else here. Luckily, I've got a handle on my, oops, sorry about that. Let's see if it'll recognize this. Yes, so hopefully this will continue to record audio. I like to use a separate audio recorder because it does a better job than the DJI version. But hopefully this will suffice in a pinch. This is 3rd Street. We're on 2nd Avenue, by the way. 3rd Street cuts north. And you can see, looks like some alfalfa maybe growing down there. You can see the kind of the river valley, the way it opens up here, and has these benches. So we're gonna go down a couple blocks and make a right. Kind of a neat old turn of the century home. Looks like it's been around for a while, this blue one. It's pretty. And then we'll pass up here, another house under construction. Actually, we're gonna make a right here. I love those aspen trees in there. It just looks like a settler home from turn of the century. And I'm hoping this will make a left up here and take us to the street I want to go down. You can see the light green rows of what's been mowed up here. I think that's alfalfa. I hope it is, otherwise it's spotted knapweed, which would be really bad. It's an invasive species and it really trashes the soil. Smells like alfalfa. I think it looks like alfalfa. It's got this really nice sweet smell to it. Not so much like a flower, but more like a cut grass, but sweeter. It's nice. Another big rig. I'm always impressed by how those guys can handle those things in these narrow areas. Over here, I don't know if you can see it, in that gray house, there's a little doe deer, female deer, lying at the base, finding some shade. We're gonna leave her alone and walk down on 5th Street. And down here at the corner, I'll point something else out. But really, we're just gonna walk down to the river and get a view of that. It's warm, but it's a very pleasant day out here today. This is a chokecherry bush. Looks like this field is for sale. Part of it anyway. Call Peggy Heath at Yellowstone Real Estate Group for more information on that. Over to our left, we have Shields Valley Bible Church. It is breezy. Hopefully this microphone is handling it fairly well. So you can see this is alfalfa and you've got purple flowers there. Use that for animal feed. But spotted knapweed also has a purple or lavender flower. And I've seen a lot of it this month growing along the sides of roads, and it can be pretty bad for farmers and ranchers. So, and it can be very difficult to get rid of as well. But that is not what that is. Neat old log cabin garage over here. Pretty slick. Another little chokecherry tree with lots of berries on it. Go take a look at that. Full of berries. Yummy. I think that's chokecherry. If I'm wrong, let me know. And then you can see, as we walk along here, these little things jumping. Those are grasshoppers. And it is hopper season. Trout love those things. Lots of nutrients in them. And of course, trout aren't up here, but they are in the river. Now currently, the Shields River, I believe, is closed to fishing because of water temperatures. Trout need cool water, so below 69, 65 degrees. Above 65 or so, they start to get stressed. And the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks puts in what are called hoot owl restrictions first, and that restricts fishing from 12-2, so you can only fish in the mornings till about 2 p.m. And but now the Shields has gotten so low and so warm that they've just shut it down completely. This silo over here, 2 silos actually, I believe those are part of the Double T Guest Ranch. Really nice facility. I went there for a company retreat or something. I think it's down in here. And it was really well done, really impressive. And so check it out if you want to. Maybe those aren't part of it, but the road up here is to the Double T Ranch off to the left. The Double T River Ranch. I love these old silos, grain elevators. And then you can see that little bench across the way, and that between us and that bench is the Shields River, which we're headed to right now. Off to the right are what are called green boxes. So in these rural areas, they don't have a trash service. You have to take your trash to the collection point. And then they'll bring in semis and bigger things to come take it away. And most of them don't actually have recycling, but this one does, which is great. So they do paper and then plastics 1 and 2, steel and aluminum cans and cardboard. And I guess not here, but in other places, like in the county, you can recycle glass. And looks like metal and tires here. That's different. Pretty nice. I was kind of hoping to go up to this bridge, but it's private property and it's posted, so we're not going to. So we are now on Brackett Creek Road, and Brackett Creek is over kind of at the, I think it's the north end of the Bangtails, and right goes between there and the Bridger Mountains, I believe. Or maybe that's the source of it. It comes out towards the east. Anyway, that's the road we're on, and it feeds into the Shields, I think. I'm starting to see some yellow leaves on these cottonwoods, and I think it must be due to drought versus time of year. Drought and heat. Drought and heat, sorry, did I say drought? Anyway, that should be another couple months away till they get full color, but when they go all yellow, man, it is really pretty. I will try, this is a good place for it too. I will try to get out this fall in October to film some areas with some nice fall foliage. I always have much grander ambitions than follow through. See some juniper trees in here and cottonwoods, some smaller bushes I would call, I want to say are alder, but maybe they're the chokecherries again. Got a lot of berries on them. I think this must be what they are. That is a bird and bear's delight. Some more, look at those, just juicy berries. It looks like this kind of light gray stuff, looks like it might be, well, I want to say Russian olive, but I'm not sure. They used to plant out on these high plains areas Russian olive as windbreaks around ranch houses. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of it ended up down here. Coming up to our bridge across the Shields. In the spring it can get going pretty good, but this time of year it's really low. I want to see what the sign says. There's always there has been for the last couple decades, angling closure in effect. There's been an issue with I'm just going to say it the way I see it, super rich landlords moving into Montana and trying to shut anglers out of streams. That's not the case here. That was just a notification that the stream is closed to fishing. But as long as you access the stream bed from a public right-of-way, you don't cross private land to get there, you have a legal right to recreate below the mean high water mark. And it's called the Montana Stream Access Law. What a beautiful little river here. And it is one of the best things about Montana. And people get really upset when you try and mess with it. So, and there's been several lawsuits about accessing from bridgeheads, and the Supreme Court has ruled several times now, I think, that it is totally legal to access from a public right-of-way. Mainly because the public right-of-way actually extends off from the center and goes beyond the side of the road quite often. Look at this, how beautiful this is. I want to come down here in the fall and film this with these colors here. And you can see some ranch houses back there. That's fun. I think we're going to call it today. This has ended up being a little longer than I expected, which is great. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe, comment, like, all that fun stuff. But mainly come back next time. Maybe tell your friends about it. I love interacting with you guys, love reading your comments, and I look forward to doing so on this walk from Clyde Park, Montana. We will see you again soon. Not sure from where, but until then, keep on stepping.